जय श्री राम दोस्तों, भारत मार्ग चैनल में आप सबके लिए स्वागतम। विनय जी, आपके लिए भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत। एंड फ्रेंड्स, टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट अ इम्पोर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट। इंडिया shows might in the ocean, pirates scared, sailors saved। जो डकैत हैं वो सब डरे हुए हैं। सिंगल हैंडेडली इंडिया इज डूइंग अ मेजर मेजर वर्क देयर। इसके बारे में हम विनय जी से बात करेंगे। विनय जी, आपके लिए भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत भारत मार्ग चैनल में। एंड बिफोर गेटिंग स्टार्टेड फ्रेंड्स, ये चैनल को आप ये वीडियो को लाइक करें, कमेंट करें, शेयर करें जितना भी ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों से हो सकता है, और हमें मदद कीजिएगा कि ज्यादा से लोगों से हम पहुंच पाएंगे। और इसके अलावा हमारा चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, अगर अभी तक नहीं किया तो भारत मार्ग चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, बेल आइकन दबा के हमसे जुड़ें। और हमारा हर दिन का एक धार्मिक मैसेज आती है, उसको पाने के लिए आप हमें व्हाट्सएप में जुड़ सकते हैं हमसे, +16479644790 में एक मैसेज भेज के। और हमारा काम अगर अच्छा लगा तो हमें समर्थन करके आप हमें मदद कीजिएगा ताकि हमारा काम आगे चलते रहें। विनय जी, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, वेलकम। जय श्री राम। एंड ये क्या हो रहा है ओशन में? इंडिया इज शोइंग इट्स माइट। जहां बहुत बहुत एक ईरानियन शिप को बचाया गया पायरेट से, अभी पाकिस्तानी इसको बचाया गया, यूके का एक वेसल को बचाया गया। यू नो इसके ऊपर आप क्या बोलेंगे, क्या हो रहा है ये?
A lot of things are happening in India, especially in terms of the Indian Navy. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a very quick background on the sea route. Okay, the easiest sea route between Europe, North America, and Asia. Okay, now in the past, all right, before the Suez Canal was built, right? So if something had to be transported from, let's say, the east, like I'm talking India, China, Philippines, Malaysia, and so
East.
on. So what was going on was you had to actually access the Indian Ocean, go down south of South Africa to the South Atlantic Ocean, and then go into North Atlantic Ocean, and then into Europe, and then into North America. Okay, so that's how it was in the past. Then miracles happened. Suez Canal was built, and Suez Canal opened up near the Egypt Syria border. Okay, sorry, Egypt, Israel, that border, right? So basically, what has happened is now the ships coming in through the Suez Canal, they can actually go through that particular area and come into the Red Sea and then to the Gulf of Aden, and then they can go to the east, far east, east and far east, and probably by doing this, saving hundreds and thousands of dollars in terms of fuel and stuff like that. Okay, but here's the problem. Right when they are exiting from the Suez Canal, coming from North America or from Europe, and going towards Asia, right? They have to pass some highly war-torn areas in the African continent. Okay, so now Egypt is a pretty safe country, but following that, they've got to go through Sudan, then Eritrea, then Djibouti, and then Somalia. Okay. Now, what has happened in the last few years is these countries have been war torn, and they have no food, and people are resorting to. They were kind of thinking of how do we feed ourselves and how do we feed our. And these are all held by little warlords. Okay, Okay, and they probably command a few area, maybe small areas in Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, and whatever, right? So, and now what they've done is lately they have been pirating ships coming through, and these are mostly commercial ships, and they're carrying millions and billions of dollars worth of goods and commodities that is either going from Asia to North America, or from North America to Asia, right? So now this sea route is become one of the most dangerous sea routes in the world, and it's held by the, or rather, dominated by the Houthis and the Houthis are, and the Somalian pirates. Okay, so that is kind of the background. All right. Now, what has happened in the most recent past? Right, a lot of countries have sent their ships, their warships, their naval ships into this area to protect that, that whole area. All right, the Gulf of Aden coming into the Arabian Sea. So India actually has always kind of had their naval ships in that area, but mostly in the Arabian Sea, that is within the maritime borders of India, because the maritime borders extend to a certain number of kilometers as per the international law from a country's coast, right? The coastline, and that's what they were doing, like guarding. They have coast guards and they've got Indian naval ships there. But recently, they have gone as far as 1,500 to 2,000 kilometers, or even more, from the Indian coastline to guard these the area, because a lot of Indian ships are coming into India from Europe or North America, or going from India all the way to North America or Europe. And these are carrying commodities, like I said, are worth millions and billions of dollars, and they want to protect these. And so I'm going to go with incidents. All right, just to give a little bit of facts to the viewers. So let's go back to January 5th. All right, I'm just going to go very recent. I'm not going to go back too long ago. January 5th, MS Norfolk was actually sailing in this particular area, and it was attacked by the Somalian pirates. Okay, and Indian naval ship that was guarding that area immediately got the alert that the pirates have attacked this ship. And because what happens is, when the ships are attacked, they normally send an SOS in this area. Okay, so whichever ship gets the first SOS has to respond, or technically responds, but it's not a rule of the law, because these are all independent from different countries. So if they have the will, or if they have the the humanitarian things in them, then they go,
if they have the might,
and they have the might, they go and help these containers or ships, right? The commercial ships. So India got the SOS from this MS Norfolk, and the naval ships are now, previously naval ships had only naval officers, soldiers, and stuff like that. But lately they've got what's called as who are called as Marcos. So these are the maritime commandos. Okay, so they're called Indian Marcos, and these are the commandos who actually have a lot more training in this in handling these kind of situations. And so the commandos actually of the Indian Navy confronted the Somali pirates on MS Norfolk, and guess what happened? The entire Somali pirates fled the ship. They left the ship and fled, and Norfolk was safe. Okay, so now next incident was on as recently as January 23rd. All right, so INS Vishakhapatnam was sailing in that area, and they received an SOS from MV Berlin, which is a German container ship. All right, and Houthis drones had attacked the MV Berlin, and the Marcos commandos on INS Vishakhapatnam came there, and unfortunately, the drones had set the ship on fire, the MV Berlin. So the Indian Navy came there and they rescued, I think, most or all of the people on MV Berlin, and then they started firefighting the MV Berlin to gouge the fire out. But unfortunately, they fought for, like, they tried for 6 hours the firefighting, right? But unfortunately, it didn't work, and 4 hours later, MV Berlin drowned. So, but the crew was saved. That is what is most important, right? And if you go back a few days before, on January 17th, MV Picardy, a British ship, was also rescued by INS Vishakhapatnam, and they were the ones that reached there first, because the SOS, kind of like I said, it goes to several ships across, right? And whoever gets the signal will typically, if they have the
Whomever wants to
infrastructure, they have
respond,
the
they will
might,
respond. Yeah.
yeah, they respond to it. But it's always been Indian Navy that has been responding. And now let's fast forward to January 24th. Okay. INS Sumitra was sailing in the Gulf of Aden, near the Arabian Sea, and right at the border. And there were, at least about 10 or 15 other countries have deployed their ships and in that area, and they were all sailing there. But India received an SOS from a container ship called MV Ayman, and 17 Iranians were rescued and arrested. The commandos arrested 11 pirates, right away. So this is what has happened. And then within 36 hours, another ship, FV Al Naimi, was also attacked by the Somalian pirates, and immediately INS Sumitra, was in the area. They received the SOS, and the Marcos commandos went into action, and they rescued 19 Pakistani crew members. Pakistani are India's sworn enemies, it looks like. And Pakistan government has
at least in their mind. Unke liye to hum kafir hain.
Exactly. And they have always fought against India. They always have sent terrorists across the border. And they were the ones that was responsible for the 26/11 in Mumbai, and a bunch of terrorist activities, terrorist attacks in India. But these are the guys who were rescued, 19 Pakistani crew members. And so the funny thing is, even Pakistani Navy was there in that area, and they also received the SOS, but obviously India was the first to respond. Okay. And the funny thing is,
and the vessel kiska tha? वो vessel भी
it's
पाकिस्तान
an
का था या ईरान का?
Iranian vessel. Al Naimi is an Iranian vessel, but 19 Pakistanis were on board. Okay. So this is what is happening. And now if you look at this whole thing, right, you will be surprised that, forget about Indian media. Okay. None of the foreign media has said anything about what Indian Navy has done. This is the unfortunate part. So anything that goes on, with about the Ayodhya temple, oh my God, there were headline news in Washington Post, New York Times, Al Jazeera, TNT, and blah, 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 and all of these. But when it comes to these good humanitarian, activities that's carried out by the Indian government and the Indian Navy, nothing. Not even a mention in there, in the bottom, even in small print. So this is the unfortunate part. This is how the
That
Western
means
media
you
is.
are saying all the papers, but you forgot some of the best enemies of our area. That is Toronto Star, CNN, Fox News. Nothing, nobody
Exactly, none of
mentions it.
them. None of them. None of them. I mean, even in India, many of the major newspapers and media houses did not capture this. Some of them did.
Some
Okay.
of them did.
So this is, and these are not some hearsay or or whatever, right? You can actually see videos of these pirates getting arrested, videos of Marcos commandos, in action and stuff like that, and unfortunately, this is the reaction.
But,
But
we don't care really. But see, given the vaccine when India was shipping, जब इंडिया भेज रहे थे पूरा दुनिया को, जिसको ये कालू बोल के ये लोग मानते नहीं है गोरे, वो उधर भी भेज रहे थे, तो भी कवरिंग नहीं हुआ था. मगर नाउ यू सी द फॉरेन पॉलिसी ऑफ इंडिया, दे आर एबल टू रेस्क्यू पीपल फ्रॉम एवरीवेयर, डू थिंग्स. ये कैसा वैक्सीन मैत्री की तरह ये भी बहुत अच्छा काम करेगा क्या फॉरेन संबंध में? ये क्या
the
आप
whole
देर
idea
हो गए
is
आपका, अगर इफ यू कैन
whole
कवर द
idea is
लास्ट
the
पॉइंट.
foreign policy, right? Like the whole Indian governments, the new governments, the way they work is they have to maintain a good relationship with their neighbors, and and they believe in the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that policy, right? So that is the way the Indian government is thinking right now. And yesterday I was listening to a video, and I was watching a video actually, and listening to this person, and he said, you know what, the forget people and organization and institutions getting awarded for Nobel Peace Prize, right? India as a country should get Nobel Peace Prize. That's the view of this particular person who said this. So I mean, like, they have been doing so much for the world peace, like supplying vaccines, supplying, sending a rescue team to Turkey for to rescue earthquake victims, and doing this kind of stuff for what's happening in the
Afghanistan, sending wheat for Afghanistan.
sending wheat for Afghanistan, and things like that, right? Like, you got to keep in mind that India has been doing a lot. So yeah, and
And they are reaping the reward too from there. लोग सोच रहे हैं कि ये कैसा रशिया कैसा अब उनका लिए उनका स्टूडेंट्स को बचने देता है, यूक्रेन भी बचने देता है. But means every country wants a good relationship at the end of the day.
yeah, exactly. So just to finish it off, I just want to say one ironical thing, right? US is leading an effort to keep open shipping lanes in the Red Sea, okay, where Houthi rebels have pummeled merchant traffic indiscriminately with drones and anti-ship missiles. So United States approached India and said, hey, you should also join this, right? But India has basically declined, and they said that we are going to be independent. We will work independently. We don't want to join any forces. We'll work independently. If we get an SOS call, we'll be one of the first ones to respond. Okay. And at the same time, New Delhi, like I said, has dispatched several ships of war to the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Aden to protect mainly Indian flagged merchantmen. But at the same time, any ship or any container that actually sends an SOS to the Indian Navy ships, they will respond right away. So
Wow.
apparently
This
now
is
10
amazing.
Indian Navy warships are patrolling the waters in the subcontinent.
ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, क्योंकि अगर यूएस के साथ गया तो हुतीस के साथ रिलेशन नहीं होगा. अभी दे विल एबल टू स्ट्राइक अ डील विद देम, टू सेफगार्ड द इंटरेस्ट. सो बहुत सारे ईरानियन शिप्स, ईरान तो अपना दोस्त है ही है, देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन एट ऑल. बहुत सारा ऐसा डीलिंग होता है. Vinay ji, I know you have a busy schedule, came and discussed with us. Thank you very much for doing so. Appreciate it. And friends, what do you think? आप क्या सोच रहे हैं इंडिया का फॉरेन पॉलिसी के बारे में? आप जैसा सोच रहे हैं कि ये वैक्सीन मैत्री की तरह ये भी ऐसा काम करेगा जैसा लोगों को जुड़ने का, देशों को भारत के साथ जुड़ने का काम करेगा? इसके बारे में आपका राय जरूर कमेंट करके बताइएगा, और हमसे जुड़े रहें. Vinay ji, thank you again. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hare Krishna, Jai Sri Krishna.